Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about 2024's Twisters and its Universal 4K Blu-ray. But before we get into that 4K Blu-ray review, if you don't want to know anything about the film Twisters, and this is going to be filled with spoilers, you guys can skip ahead to that 4K Blu-ray review right now. So Twisters is directed by Lee Isaac Chung. It is the sequel to 1996's Twister, which is a beloved 1990s disaster film starring Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, and it also features Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is probably for a lot of 90s kids the first place you saw Philip Seymour Hoffman, and then you would see him in plenty of other great films and realize Philip Seymour Hoffman is a great goddamn actor. But he has a small part in the first Twister, and this movie Twisters really captures the spirit of the first Twister movie. You know, even though it's a sequel, there aren't really too many characters who overlap. In fact, there really isn't any characters who overlap. Really, the only connection to the first Twister is A, it takes place in Oklahoma, and there's some little Easter eggs, like the truck that Glenn Powell's driving. It's red as an homage to the original Dodge Ram that appears in the first Twister movie, which actually might have been the first model of that brand new Dodge Ram back in the mid-1990s. I remember that being a big deal at the time because Dodge Rams didn't look like that, so that was a pretty big deal. Dodge Rams nowadays, they are a pretty huge truck out here in the United States. Obviously, this movie features two big Dodge Rams, and the fact that we have the two big teams chasing the storms, just like in the first Twister, both of them are driving Dodge Rams. And this movie starts off with Daisy Edgar Jones and her team of storm chasers. You know, they're a more ragtag group, younger people. Anthony Ramos is in this group as well. And we see them chasing a tornado in Oklahoma. And this is where we first get to see the real special effects of this movie, where they combine really great practical effects with special effects from, you know, the greats, Industrial Light and Magic. And I really do think they do a good job with the special effects in this movie, actually, especially in the world of modern day CGI, which usually looks pretty damn awful in regular old-fashioned studio releases, but not in this movie. This movie really did feel like a throwback to the 1990s blockbusters that I personally love. And thankfully, the special effects didn't take me out of the movie. The star of this movie is obviously, like the first movie, the Twisters themselves, and you're really here for this special effects showcase. You want to hear the loudest tornadoes you possibly could hear, and you want to see some destruction on screen. And having good human characters is just an additional bonus to that, in my opinion. And thankfully, this movie actually does build up those human characters very, very well, because you do end up caring about Daisy Edgar Jones, who at the very beginning of this movie, three of her friends end up dying in one of these tornadoes. They didn't expect it to be as bad, so only she survives, and Anthony Ramos survives, because he wasn't with the rest of them. He was kind of tracking the storm, which is, again, another callback, because we get to see the Dorothy from the first Twister movie. That's a nice little Easter egg. And then as the movie goes on, when Anthony Ramos starts his team of storm chasers, and the vehicles all have different names, you know, they're named after Wizard of Oz characters, again, as an homage to the first Twister, and the big machine in that movie being called Dorothy, because this movie features another big piece of technology. It's just not Dorothy. Dorothy, you know, it's expanded. It's gotten bigger since the first movie. But we jump 5 years into the future. Daisy Edgar Jones, she's moved to New York. She's getting out of Oklahoma. She doesn't chase storms anymore. She does it on the safe side, where nobody can get hurt. But Anthony Ramos, he was in the military for a little while. Now he's got this big job, and he needs the best. Kate knows what she's doing. She can smell out storms, and he convinces her to come back to Oklahoma, so it's like a reunion of her coming home. And this is where she meets Glenn Powell's character, the Tornado Wrangler. And he's the star of this movie. Glenn Powell really is just that big actor nowadays. He can sell a film. If movies were able to be sold by actors anymore, he would definitely be that leading man. He's got that face. He's got that charisma. And he is fantastic in this movie as Tyler Owens, a YouTube storm chaser. So obviously, we think from the very beginning, they are in it for the fame, whereas Anthony Ramos and Daisy Edgar Jones joining Anthony Ramos, they're in it for the science, the research, there to help people. And that's one thing that this movie plays around with, is your expectations. The big, flashy, outgoing people, you know, maybe they're not the greatest of people. They're just there for the show. They're there for the money. But the movie actually flips it upside down on you, and I did enjoy this. Yes, it's very cliche, and this movie is filled with very cliche, cheesy characters. I appreciate this movie for that. It's not supposed to be the biggest thought-provoking movie you've ever seen. It's really there for entertainment value. It's the definition of a summer blockbuster. So again, as long as these characters are interesting enough, and they are, you do get wrapped up in them. We kind of find out as the movie's going on that Glenn Powell's character and all his buddies, despite being very flashy and could be a little bit overbearing, they're in it for the good. They're there to actually help people. All the merchandise they're selling, it's so that they can give free food to people who've just been, you know, involved in a tornado which wipes out towns. They don't sell the damage short, and they don't sell how people get hurt in these movies, despite the fact it's supposed to be entertaining as hell. And I really did appreciate that about this story. I do enjoy the fact that I do actually end up caring about these characters. Again, you bring in good actors like Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell. My biggest flaw as far as the big main lead actors go is I've never been someone who gets fully behind Anthony Ramos. He's just that one person who doesn't seem like he's actually like acting. It kind of just feels like it's Anthony Ramos. I actually thought he did a better job in the movies like In the Heights, where he gets to sing a little bit more, than when he does in this movie and Transformers Rise of the Beast. I just feel like out of all the actors, I felt like there was better actor out there than Anthony Ramos. And I feel bad saying that because Anthony Ramos does seem like a fantastic guy. It's just compared to like Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones and what they're doing, I just felt like Anthony Ramos was just a little bit of a step down. But that's not too big of an insult. He's still a good actor. I felt like those two actors, they just have that leading man and leading actress kind of vibe to them. The kind of people you want to bring into this kind of film. And the movie just hits all those big time story beats till we build up to the big finale where it's Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones in the car together, chasing down the storm. She's on their team now, and they got to save a town and get this big, gigantic, epic ending. And then, of course, it's got to wrap up with a nice little love story. You get even that cliche of chasing the girl down in the airport, and they know it. They know what they're doing here. They pretty much point it out to you in the movie, but it works just fine for this type of movie. We want to send the fans home happy. I can understand people being a little bit upset with this movie as it doesn't feel like a direct sequel to Twister. It's just got that spirit of the 1996 Twister in there. It's not necessarily going for a direct sequel where we have characters from the first one, which is what I think a lot of people wanted from this movie. Me personally, I got the exact movie I wanted, and that's why I do still think, even after seeing this a second time and at home, maybe the experience wasn't as good as it was in the theater, but this is the kind of movie designed to be seen in a theater. It was still a great home experience. I still think that this is actually one of the best films of 2024, and I know that a lot of people don't agree with me with that, but I still really enjoyed it after seeing it a second time. And hey, let's talk about this Universal 4K Blu-ray. And here it is, Twisters on 4K Blu-ray from Universal Pictures. This was distributed by Universal in the United States. Overseas it was distributed by Warner Bros. So I'm not too sure if overseas they have a different 4K Blu-ray than this one. This also had a 4K Steelbook, which I should have got, but, because I already had Twister on 4K Steelbook, but I thought this was fine, and I kind of like the matte, flat finishing of this Universal 4K slipcover. So you come underneath, same artwork. And something that's becoming a rarity nowadays. You get the 4K Blu-ray and you get the Blu-ray. And this is basically, if you were to buy the movie on Blu-ray, this would be the Blu-ray. So the 4K Blu-ray and the Blu-ray have the same exact scan, same exact audio, same exact extras. They're pretty much set up the exact same way. It's just on the Blu-ray, you're not going to get the bells and whistles of Dolby Vision and HDR10 when you jump over to that 4K Blu-ray. You'll get to have that stuff. And what about those extras? For a 2024 film, they don't usually give us a lot of extras, but they actually give us quite a bit of featurettes on here. A nice little featurette about Glenn Powell where they showed him filming in Oklahoma. Apparently he brings his mom and dad over to stay with him where he's filming. He even gets a dog in the area, which is pretty cool. He seems like a nice guy. Get a nice little featurette on Daisy Edgar Jones as well. The actual special effects and how they did that, like getting the trucks all together. That stuff was all cool. I really did appreciate all the behind-the-scenes stuff in here. They also have a gag reel, which is always a lot of fun. So all the featurettes, they were pretty damn good. Not a lot of them, but for a new release in 2024, they actually gave us a pretty damn good amount. Surprised the hell out of me, and they were entertaining, so I really enjoyed them. I always enjoy just going behind the scenes in the making of these movies and seeing as people have fun. Now, obviously, a lot of these now are there to sell the movie. You kind of hear the truth like 10 years later, but I still enjoyed all the stuff that was happening in these extras. Now, the big stuff, that Dolby Atmos track. This Dolby Atmos track is fantastic. It was fantastic when I saw it in theaters, and I knew it was going to be really good when they got this one at home, and damn, it sure was. Now, the two best audio tracks I heard in theaters this year was this and Alien Romulus. So Alien Romulus comes to 4K pretty soon. We'll have to see which one is the better when it comes to the Dolby Atmos tracks, but Twister's Dolby Atmos track, my God, as expected. We want these Twisters, we want to be inside the storm, so we want to make sure that audio is damn good, and they did a fantastic job spreading that stuff around, hearing things coming from behind you. I mean, it actually tricked me a couple times, which is the best compliment I can give to a Dolby Atmos track, is when it actually makes you think that something's in the room, like where it's coming from behind you, then it goes overhead. Just perfect execution on the Dolby Atmos track. This is something with modern technology. I might have complained about the overuse of CGI, but what we're doing with modern day sound mixing is absolutely incredible. People know what they're doing. They're mixing this stuff so well, and they did a great job with this Dolby Atmos track. Now, what about the visuals? This movie was actually shot on film, so that means it translates so well to the 4K Blu-ray format, but that Blu-ray is still pretty damn good as well. So if you do pick up the Twisters Blu-ray, you're not going to be that disappointed, but the 4K Blu-ray slapping that HDR10 and Dolby Vision on it, it's really going to make things just look better and better. And it is one of the best visual movies of 2024. And it really shows you shooting on film and not overexposing all the lights. Filming on location makes a huge difference because you can watch this movie and it could feel like a 1990s movie because they shot it in a very similar way. And I think the movie looks absolutely beautiful. Stunning detail. I love all the weather effects. I think it all looks perfect on 4K Blu-ray. Definitely one of the best looking 4K Blu-rays as far as being a modern film, because when you compare a modern film to like an older film that gets a restoration of 4K Blu-ray, it's kind of not fair. You know, they have the best equipment. This is a big budget summer blockbuster, so it cost over $100 million to make. So to say that this 4K Blu-ray looks fantastic, you know, most people might be like, yeah, it's supposed to look fantastic. Well, thankfully, it at least does look great. So even if you pick up that Blu-ray, I don't think you'll be too disappointed if you're not somebody who collects 4K Blu-rays. But the 4K Blu-ray in here is a stunner in the visual and audio department. Extras are pretty damn good as well. Packaging, pretty standard, but I don't got any complaints. Maybe you picked up that steelbook and it's pretty good as well. But overall, this is a fantastic release from Universal. Universal, they're one of those sneaky good 4K Blu-ray releasers, because last year they did Oppenheimer, which I thought was the best 4K Blu-ray of last year. You know, again, a lot of this stuff has to do with the way they're making the movies. So when you translate them to the disc, they translate so well. But still, Universal doesn't seem like they cut that many corners when it comes to major releases. I just don't feel like they put out as much as like Warner Brothers or Paramount. But when they do, my God, you get a great 4K Blu-ray release like Twisters. How would I rate Twisters on 4K Blu-ray on a score of 1 to 10? I would give this 4K Blu-ray a really solid 9 out of 10. And guys, it's Friday, and that means it's time for our digital code giveaway. In every single video we do on Friday, I ask you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you gotta do is answer one in the comment section below. As long as you do that, you come back to Tuesday's video where I'll put your name on a magic wheel. I'll spin that bad boy 2 times. The 2 names it lands on, and they have their choice. The digital codes, you see it on your screen before you today. And that includes Twisters, guys. And I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite disaster film of all time? And who is your favorite modern working actor today? Like Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones. These are pretty big actors. Maybe not Daisy Edgar Jones as much as Glenn Powell, but Glenn Powell, he's on the rise. He might even be close to the top of being like, you know, up there with like the Timothée Chalamets of the world. So let me know, who do you guys think is your favorite modern working actor or actress working today? Leave those answers in the comment section, and then don't forget to come back to Tuesday's video. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, we have channel memberships. So if you want to become a friend of the channel, a producer for the channel, like John Doe Juggalo and Jet Eckert, you can do that. Or even a channel director, like Frank from Frank's Media Reviews and Mr. Smelly Potato. But guys, if you got no money to throw away, don't worry about it at all. We just hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, get out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and then we'll be seeing you around.